So I've been talking a lot about attachment styles lately, but one thing we're going to do today in this specific video is talk about the most difficult type of attachment style to try to win back or even handle after a breakup, and that is the dismissive avoidant attachment style. So if you stick around until the end of this video, not only am I going to be explaining to you what a dismissive avoidant attachment style looks like, but also how to deal with that person after a breakup, whether you want to get them back or move on from them. And also, if you stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to show you the interesting paradox that has evolved if you try to handle this person the correct way. But first things first, if you want to fast track this process and figure out what kind of chance you have of getting your specific ex back, the fastest way to figure this out is to actually hop by our website, www.exboyfriendrecovery.com, and take our Ex Recovery Chances quiz. It's a simple, free, 2-minute quiz designed to basically tell you what kind of chance you have of getting your ex back. Now, all you have to do if you want to take the quiz is simply look in the description link below this YouTube video and click on it. It's that simple. So don't forget, take the quiz. And now that that's out of the way, let's talk about dismissive avoidant exes. All right, let's actually define what the dismissive avoidant attachment style is. So an avoidant attachment style often sees themselves as independent or able to go it alone. They often maintain strict boundaries and can be emotionally distant and have a hard time opening up to their partners or making or keeping close friendships. In other words, basically the definition pegs them to a T. They are avoidant in all types of relationships. While they may be interested at the beginning, you'll find that they run away consistently. And what's also kind of interesting is a lot of times we're finding that a lot of our clients have actually dated some of these avoidant type of people. The question now becomes, how do you deal with someone who's dismissive avoidant? Well, the pillars of attachment theory has its roots in psychology. So probably the best way to teach you how to cope with an avoidant attachment style X, or how to deal with an avoidant attachment style X, is to fight fire with fire, so to speak. We need to understand why that person is avoidant. A lot of times people misunderstand an avoidant attachment style. They'll take them leaving or suddenly dropping off of a conversation as a way of them saying, I don't love you, or I don't care about you, or you need to move on, or things of that nature, when the truth is actually a little bit more complicated. You see, the avoidant attachment style is going to be based mostly through fear. This is an important distinction for you to make, because someone who's making decisions based on fear is completely self-interested. So think of it like this. If I have an avoidant attachment style and I'm dating someone, the one big reason that will cause me to break up with that person is I'm afraid of opening up to them, because if I actually open up to them, I have the opportunity of becoming hurt by you, and I can't feel that hurt. So I avoid it. And that's why you'll often see avoidant attachment styles jumping from relationship to relationship to relationship, because oftentimes they do like the initial boost you get during that honeymoon period, but after it gets a little too serious and one party starts asking for more, they get frightened and move away because they're afraid of getting hurt. So how do you overcome this to kind of coax them back? Well, the initial reaction I think most people have when someone avoids them out of a fear-based decision is to try to make it better. That is actually the worst thing that you could do. Think of it like a negotiation. Now, I use this example all the time on the YouTube channel, but bear with me here. If you and I are having a negotiation and I say no to you, the worst thing you can do is pitch harder and harder and harder and harder. That kind of puts me off and makes me not want to buy whatever you're selling. The same thing happens here with avoidant attachment styles. If you push harder and harder and harder and harder to get things going the way you want them to go, you're just gonna cause them to be avoidant even more. Instead, what you should do is understand what actually works on avoidant attachment styles. And here's where the interesting paradox comes into play. Now, I say this almost every single video, but that's because it's exciting. I'm learning new things as I do this. But lately, I've been interviewing success stories just about every single week. One thing I'm extremely proud of with the Ex Recovery program is how many sheer volume of success stories that we have. I was just talking to Coach Anna, who is one of our head coaches at the X Recovery Program, and she was telling me that out of the thousands of people that she's coached over the past 4 years, around 70% of them have successfully gotten their exes back. Now, that doesn't mean that they stayed together with their ex, but at one point they did get their exes back. And what's interesting is when you have that amount of volume, you can look at what's working and what's not working. And one thing we're seeing that works almost exclusively in those 70% of people who are successfully winning their exes back is they're actually changing their own attachment styles to be secure. So what do I mean by that? What does a secure attachment style look like? Well, think of it like this. You are so strong internally that nothing can happen to you that you feel like you can't handle. In other words, the one adjective I would use to describe the secure attachment style is fortitude. You know that no matter what happens to you, you'll find a way to overcome it. One thing we've also begun to notice is the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people. Now, I can't take credit for this. One of my friends actually gave this quote to me, but I think it really hits home the point that we're trying to get here with the secure attachment style. The difference between successful people and unsuccessful people in life isn't the fact that they're really good tactically. And sometimes it's not even about the fact that they're really good strategically. It's about the way they look at problems. Throughout relationships and trying to get exes back and trying to move on from exes, you're bound to encounter roadblocks. And when you encounter a roadblock, you're going to have usually one of two types of reactions. Number one, and the most common reaction we see, is thinking it's the end of the world. A common example we see here is, let's say your ex blocks you. You think it's the end of the world, you have no way of talking to them again. That's what an unsuccessful person does. Now, it seems kind of hard to wrap your head around the fact that you can overcome being blocked, but what a successful person does is they actually look at the problem as fun. They think of it like, okay, this is fun. Let me problem solve and find the solution. It's almost like a paradigm shift in how you look at the world, but that's exactly what a secure attachment style would do. So if you take a secure attachment style and kind of pit them against an avoidant attachment style, the avoidant attachment style, when they run away, the secure attachment style is basically going to say, okay, they just need space, and they're cool with giving them that space. And here's where their paradox arrives. Usually, if you have accomplished this feat of changing maybe your anxious type of an attachment style to a secure attachment style, you're looking at the roadblocks as fun problems to solve, you're at a place emotionally where you are no longer attracted to that avoidant attachment style. You kind of see the world through new lens. And what's interesting is the paradox is the key to getting that type of a person back, the key to attracting them back is to mimic or become a secure attachment style. And a secure attachment style person is usually not attracted to avoidant attachment styles. There's the paradox. Oftentimes, the best solution for trying to win that avoidant, dismissive person back is to get over them, is to become secure attachment to the point where nothing they do can bother you. And it's counterintuitive and kind of paradoxical because you're thinking, well, I came into this wanting to get my ex back, and you're telling me the best way to get them back is to ignore them? The best way to get them back is to become secure and not care about what they're doing? And I'm saying yes. That's what we're seeing works. And it usually is never a quick process. That's the other misconception that we see. A lot of people come in this and they get these ridiculous figures in their head that they think in 30 days they can win a dismissive avoidant person back. Someone who's a dismissive avoidant has childhood reasons for why they're that way usually. Not always, but usually. It's not the type of thing that you're magically going to solve in a month. It's the kind of thing that isn't usually solved for years. And that person usually has to go through therapy to get to a point. They sometimes have to have life-altering experiences to get to a point where they're thinking, I need to look at my life differently. I need to not be so afraid of getting back into relationships. So I think it's important to understand that not everyone is going to have an easy time getting this type of a person back. So if you want to get this type of a person back, I've given you basically the strategy for how you should go about doing it. If you want the tactics, the specifics of how you go about doing that, my recommendation for you is to hop over to our website, www.exboyfriendrecovery.com, and immerse yourself into the free content that we have there that talks about the tactics, how you should text this person, how you should do the no contact rule, what you should be doing if you see them in person, how you should be responding if you accidentally run into them throughout life. That's the best thing you can do. But strategically, the strategy is always going to be secure attachment style. Hey there, thanks so much for making it to the end of this video. Again, if you want that quick determination of what your chances are of getting your ex back, simply look in the description link below this YouTube video and click the link you see there to take our ex recovery chances quiz. Also, if you haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to our YouTube channel or our videos, please do so. Every little bit helps. I'll see you next time.